Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Hardwood Nation podcast with your boy CL Anthony and my main man Bryce Ward.
What's up?
Bryce, what is up?
Not much. I just can't help but think that Dr. Umar would not like your opening intro.
Is it too early to curse on here? I mean, Dr. Umar can eat a dick. When he opens that school, then he can judge me. When he opens that school, then he can judge me. And that's deep on a lot of levels. I don't know how much you follow that, but when he opens the school, then he can judge me. Okay, so been a couple of weeks. As always, we got some shit to get into. Right after the last time we were on here, the player that keeps on giving, James Harden, said that he pretty much called the Sixers president / GM a liar. He's doubled down on that in recent days, saying he would never play for an organization that Daryl Morey runs. And the crazy thing is, these two guys have had relationships now over almost a 10-year period with two different franchises, and now it's just blown to hell. So, backstory. Apparently, they promised Harden a full max extension. They didn't offer Harden a full max extension, and that's when Harden said he wanted to be traded, preferably to the Clippers. The Sixers said, after trying, the Sixers said that they're not going to trade him. They didn't get a good offer, so they intend Harden to be in training camp in about a month. And that's what started all this with Harden saying the dude's a liar. So, unleash yourself. Give me your thoughts on this entire situation.
It's funny because this guy has been like on the good side of Harden for a long time until just recently, and so I mean, I know we fall in the camp as like this is what you get for getting in business with James Harden. Like the three players I think that we see as almost like all-star caliber that are very difficult to either keep on the court or keep long term is you got Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, James Harden on that list. Now I'm not comparing Kyrie and Durant directly to Harden. I'm just saying like these three guys have had issues in the past, and James Harden, the way that he has left teams so quickly. I mean, I think it's funny, even if that's what happened behind closed doors. Harden calling someone a liar is almost kind of like hilarious to me at this point. You know what I mean? Like he has enough mud on his shoes to where I don't really care what he was promised and what he was given because he screwed over a lot of different teams before and players before just because of deciding to up and leave, right? I mean, dysfunction follows wherever he goes. The fact that this is why I would have liked to have been in like that Brooklyn locker room for a while when all three of those guys were there to just really see how disoriented the other players and how discombobulated the whole team had to have been almost. I mean, your mind runs wild with what the scenarios could be. You know what I mean? But like in terms of what's going on right now, it's hard. Like I said, if this was like if James Harden had a better track record with teams and moving, then maybe I'd be more on his side. Like I get being upset about the money, but at this point, you've pulled so many shenanigans over the years. It's like I personally do not care that you are getting quote unquote you got lied to, and then like you're not making the money you want. Well, maybe if you had stuck with one of the other teams, you wouldn't be in this situation. I'm just saying, like you made your bed. These are the offer. This is the team you're on now. This is the offer you're getting now. You just have to live with that, and if not, go about it the right way, but not. I mean, this is Harden, so he's doing it in a very James Harden way. I'm not surprised. Like you said, he's the gift that keeps on giving. And I would personally, I would not want him anywhere near any team that I like or care about. What did you think of his recent shenanigans?
I can tell you this. I'm actually on James Harden's side on this one. And here's why. Here's why. Because this thing goes back to last year when he signed. Last year he signed a 2-year deal with a 1-year opt-out. Okay. The first year of that deal, of course, which was last year, he actually took a pay cut so they could sign players like PJ Tucker away from Miami and give him more money. So the new contract was supposed to make up for the money that he gave up last year. So, and that's a common practice in the NBA where, some organizations will say, hey, take a pay cut for us this year and we'll look out for you on the back end. So that's an old school play. And I think that's what happened now because remember, the Sixers were investigated last year by the NBA for how they had these deals lined up before, the start of the free agency season, which again is a common practice. They can pretty much investigate every team for that because everyone talks.
The Heat's on that list a lot.
Sir, we've never been found guilty of anything, so just let you know.
I can't help it. Pat Riley's a little slicker than everybody else.
We have not been found guilty of anything, just to let you know. Right. So this is per ESPN. Sharing my screen here. Don't know if you can see it, but I can read it to you. Of course, the league is believed to be pursuing an understanding of whether Harden was portending, and I go into that, a 2023/24 holdout in violation of the league's collective bargaining agreement, or had been referencing past contract discussions with the organization that might constitute salary cap circumvention. Long story short, they don't want him to hold out this year, and they're going to investigate what happened last year again with Harden taking less money under the pretense that he would get more money on the back end. Okay, let's see right here. Nevertheless, Harden has privately indicated that his public comments calling Morey a liar on Monday morning had only been a response to Morey ending trade discussions with the expectation that Harden would start the season with the Sixers. Well, so the last part of this, I said to you yesterday, which is, how does Joel Embiid see this? What is he going to do? Whose side is he on? The Sixers side or James Harden's side? And if they move Harden, will Joel Embiid ask out? So what do you think about the prospects of Joel Embiid's future in Philadelphia, considering there's a couple of teams looking, as always, Miami's looking. And then the New York Knicks, who need a decent big, are looking.
If Embiid is even rumored to be on the market, I would say 95% of the teams in the league should at least make that call. Mm-hmm. Everybody makes that call, right? Whether or not you think you're the one that gets him or you need him as much as another team. Everybody makes that call, I think, right? I mean, we've seen trades where guys had to dump a player because of whatever reason, and literally it seems like they get them for cheaper than what teams are, even fans of teams are projecting as like possible trades, right? It's like sometimes you can get a player for less than you actually think you can if he wants out. It's funny though, because what a blunder by Philly. It almost reminds me, just immediately first reaction is how is when Dwight Howard was in Orlando. You got close, you put a couple good teams around your star player, but you weren't able to bring home a championship. You had some really good seasons and all, but you wasted almost the time that he was there. Mm-hmm. I don't blame. How long has Embiid been in Philly now?
Oh, his entire career is like 10 years.
Oh, yeah, I know that. I just I guess how long has Embiid been in the league?
Yeah, it's about 10 years. Yeah.
So you've had a decade with arguably one of the best centers. I know he's had some health issues here and there, but like it just seems like a waste. And if I'm Embiid, I'm definitely on the fence about leaving because I do tend to trend towards staying where I was drafted. Like that story just seems kind of nice and polished and buttoned up to me, but I don't blame him at all for wanting to leave, especially if they lose Harden, because you seem like you're taking a step back, which is so crazy because I don't see James Harden as like one of the final pieces of a championship team, because he just hasn't proven anything on that. You can do well in the playoffs still, and then I still need convincing that you can help win a championship. And so far, I don't think James Harden has proved that. And so for that being like the final, I guess, brick for James, or I'm sorry, breaking up all over the place. If that's like the final piece for Embiid is whether or not they can keep James Harden, then I think Philly's in a more desperate state than what meets the eye, basically, because they're banking on James Harden. I think whenever you're in that position where he's like your number, even if he's your number 2 guy, you're not in a great position to actually win a championship. So if I'm Embiid, I go ahead and move on regardless of they keep Harden or not. But that's just because I don't hold Harden in high regard. I don't think you do either. Some people think he's better than Wade somehow, and it's just craziness. But
first of all, anytime that you say Dwayne Wade now, and I'm going to touch on that later, you have to say Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade. We're going to touch on that later. So just respectfully.
I'm not going to do that, but I get it. Okay. So, but yeah, this James Harden situation is just, and I'm a Dwayne Wade fan. I'm not going to do that. Okay. The James Harden situation is just more of an example of why you don't get in bed with James Harden. You don't do business with James Harden, because I don't care. Like I said, if this was like his first time doing something, I would care more. I get where you're coming from, where you promise this thing, and when time comes, you don't get the contract you were getting, being very upset about that. But at the same time, you've kind of weaseled your way out of situations before. You have kind of lied to get out of situations before. And what's good for the goose is good for the gander. You know what I mean? So I don't feel bad for him at all. Maybe if he had a better reputation around the league, this wouldn't have happened anyways. So I don't feel bad for him. Philly's a bigger question mark. I think Embiid should move on. I think Harden moves on. I think eventually Embiid does too, and Philly goes full rebuild. But I don't know when that happens.
So I meant to text you this graphic the other day, but I was able to, technology, I was able to put it on the computer. So I'm going to share the screen here and go through this with you. This is a list of Philly's mishaps since 2013. I kid you not. This is great. I kid you not. So I don't know if you can see all of it, but I'm going to read through it for you. And at the very bottom, it has James Harden. I can't make it any smaller. Okay, so 2013, traded a young Drew Holiday for the 6 picks, which turned out to be Nerlens Noel. Well, who had the better career? Drew Holiday or Nerlens Noel? 2014.
Holiday helps win championships, as we both know.
Fuck you. All right. Drew, I love you. 2014, drafted players that didn't play. Joel Embiid because he injured his foot, and Dario Saric because he stayed in Europe for 2 years. 2015, drafted their 3rd straight center in Jahlil Okafor, and he's been out of the league. 2016, hired Brian Colangelo to run the team, but he was ran out of town after having fake-ass tweets, talking bad about his own team. 2017, Fultz loses the ability to shoot for whatever reason.
Degenerative shoulder disease or whatever it is. It's a medical issue that is fixed now. Y'all about to see him light up the court this year. I'm telling you.
2018, Brian Colangelo trashed Embiid on Twitter on the burner accounts, then hired Elton Brand. The biggest mistake in the franchise history. Traded Jimmy Butler.
for Tobias Harris.
For Tobias Harris. Well, kept Tobias, traded to me.
Oh yeah,
paid
Like,
Tobias.
made the choice between the two.
Made the choice between the two. 2020. Fired God, I can't remember his first name. Fired Brett Brown, then hired Doc Rivers before hiring Daryl Morey. 2020, Ben Simmons requests trade. 2022, which we've already mentioned, the PJ Tucker move investigated for tampering, and now 2023, James Harden requests a trade. It has been an absolute shit show in Philly for the last 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And the only constant has been Joel Embiid, and I believe it is time for him to think about moving on. All right. So we're going to move on here because just to be completely and absolutely transparent, last week I was a crying bitch. And last Saturday night, it wasn't even better when I saw Hall of Famer Dirk Nowitzki, Hall of Famer Pau Gasol, bitch-ass Hall of Famer Tony Parker, and then the greatest player to ever put on a Miami Heat jersey, Hall of Famer Dwayne Wade. It was a great night. All the speeches were great. Tony Parker's speech even had me tearing up, which is odd because I hate him. Seeing Becky Hammond go in and seeing her talk about Pop, and Pop almost shed a tear. And then Pop went in and almost stole the show with his speech. Dude, it was a great night. It was a great night for international basketball. It was a great night for the Spurs. It was a great night for the Heat. And it was also a great night for Dirk. It was just great all around. I think that was one of my favorite. This is going to be one of my favorite Hall of Fame classes for a very long time. Because even with Powell talking about his relationship with Kobe, Wade talking about Allen Iverson, it was just a great fucking night. And it reignites my love and my passion for the game. So, final thoughts on Pau Gasol, Tony Parker, Pop, Dirk, and Wade being now Basketball Hall of Famers.
No, it definitely seems like one of the more star-studded Hall of Fame evenings with the inductees. All those guys well deserved. We've talked about it multiple times on the podcast at this point. It's interesting because anytime Pop talks, he's kind of one of those guys that really garners attention. Like, people hang on every word because it almost seems like he always says the right thing in the right tone. It's almost impressive. Like, there's a few people like that, and anytime Pop talks, people listen. And with this being the occasion, it was very interesting to hear him talk about it and hear him give his speech. So that was probably like one of the things I liked most, was just getting to hear him speak on it, I guess. But yeah, well deserved, everybody. This is probably one of the most, will go down as like one of the most infamous Hall of Fame classes. Just impressive from start to finish. So kudos to all those guys and women. They all deserve their flowers. And like I said, I think it's going to be one of the most memorial or remembered Hall of Fame classes. So that's
yeah. Congrats to all those guys, even teammate, wife fucker, bitch ass Tony Parker. I will never forget that. Congrats to all those guys. Congrats to Popovich, who has the most wins as a head coach in the history of the NBA. Congrats to Pau Gasol, who is a great man and a great brother and just great everything. Pau's amazing.
Mm-hmm.
Congrats to Dirk, who with Pau helped show that big men can be versatile, alongside of Kevin Garnett as well. And then again, Dwayne Tyrone Wade Jr., my all-time favorite player, for reaching the pinnacle of basketball, and now he's done. There's nothing else to do. He's done. You can relax for the rest of your fucking life. All those guys. This is it.
Real quick, I didn't see pop up until yesterday. Sometimes there's just a real basic answer to these questions. It could be a scheduling thing. I don't know what it is. Do you think there's any smoke to the fire as to why maybe LeBron James wasn't there when his buddy Dwayne Wade's going in?
No. I never gave it a thought. Melo was there, Chris Paul was there. I'm pretty sure LeBron was in the area. He just didn't attend the ceremony because he didn't want the attention to be off of those guys and be on him. So, like, LeBron James is his status as a player would bring all of the attention on him, and I think he did the right thing by not being there. I don't read anything bad into that. No.
I was just curious.
I'm pretty sure after that ceremony, they all got, the banana boat crew all got together. I will say he was in Springfield. He was there. He just wasn't again at the ceremony.
I just couldn't imagine any bad blood there.
Okay. No, there's no bad blood. Like I said, he was absolutely in the town. With his star power, he just didn't want to overshadow those guys. So I get that, and I respect that. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the World Cup, formerly the World Championship, because I'm an old head, that takes place every 4 years, between the Olympics. Team USA was kind of, I've heard them being called the C team and the D team and all this other bullshit. But when I looked at the roster, I'm like, this team is perfectly balanced, from a basketball building standpoint. So what I'm going to do is, like I said, they're 4-0 in prelim play. They play today. I can't remember who they play against, but they play today. I'm going to pull their roster up so we can just go over some of these names of these guys, because the way they've looked, I've seen 2 of the first 4 games. The way they've looked great. So, of course.
Did they play Germany yet? Because I know they're about to play Germany. That might be today.
Yeah, they play at 12. So, of course, my boy, Tyrese Halliburton, of course. Great point guard. Let's see here. My main man, Jalen Brunson from the New York Knicks, has been playing well.
That's who I've heard has really been showing out, has been Brunson. Yeah.
My boy, Mikal Bridges, of course. Great defensive presence. Can knock down a long-range shot. Long as fuck. Anthony Edwards. Now, the last game, he did take too many threes from me, but he did have a great game. So I will give him that. He has to get that three-point shooting better.
I love it. I love Anthony Edwards.
Jaren Jackson Jr. Now, I will say this. So I'll make it quick. Me and Mother were in the hospital. I put it on. So me and Mother was watching the game because Mother loves basketball as much as I do. My nephew came in, and he loves basketball as much as we do. So now the 3 of us are watching Team USA play the last game. Can't remember who they played. There was a play when all 5 guys were on the perimeter standing behind the three-point line. And me and my nephew and Jerry Jackson was in. And me and my nephew was screaming at the team, like, what the fuck is going on? And then I remember, wait a minute. Steve Kerr is the head coach. He doesn't know how to coach a big. Dude, all 5 players were on the perimeter. What is this? No one was under the basket.
Now, I do know, though, Jackson is more of a defensive presence, but still, I get what you're saying. It's like you can't have at least your center near the basket.
Right. In the second half, they did fix that because that was in the first half when it happened. So in the second half, they started killing in points in the paint. All right, Brandon Ingram, smooth, meaning Kevin Durant. Oh God, don't kick me off of YouTube for this. The token white guy from Utah, Walker Kessler, had a good little season last year.
They don't have a lot of big defensive guys, so I think that's part of the reason why he's there, of course.
Austin Reeves, the great white hope for the Los Angeles Lakers, just got paid. Get some TV time.
That makes Walker Kessler not the token white guy, though, technically.
Oh, you're right. My boy, Cam Johnson, long, defensive, can knock down open 3. Tall 3-and-D guy, young guy, up in Brooklyn right now. My main man, Bobby Portis Jr. Sometimes you need a little crazy on the team. So they got Bobby out there. And your boy, Paolo Banchero.
Oh, he's changed his number to 8. I forgot for the USA team.
So I will say this about Paolo. One, Paolo's a big boy. Let's just say that he's a big boy.
Mm-hmm.
Two, I don't know what these motherfuckers are eating over in Europe right now, but they're making Paolo look small. It is insane how small he looks when he's in the game. He's playing more to 4 for Team USA right now. So, but he's been using like his speed and his skill to get around these bigs that are over there. Just some big ass dudes over there. Okay.
Actually, until this last game, which he played limited minutes in because Kessler was in more, Steve Kerr's had him at center.
Did he?
Yes.
My boy, Josh Hart. Love him to death.
I'm paying attention to the ones you're calling your boy. Just, letting you know. There's a common theme.
So I'll go back to my boy Josh Hart, who just got paid, by the way, by the New York Knicks. So we'll go back to that.
Well deserved.
So this is the roster, and I will say, I love Josh Hart, and he did give Jimmy Butler just an inch of trouble in a playoff, just a little inch. But anyways, that's Team USA, and I think it is a beautifully made up team. All those guys moved. They actually moved the ball too much, to be honest with you. They're being a little too unselfish. There hasn't been one singular standout as of yet because we do need that. But I think we're going to be in good shape for this World Championship run. Yeah, I think we'll be fine. So, they didn't watch. They're going to go out and lose today or when this podcast goes up, this game's going to be fine. Already hell, they might have done lost.
It's still an exhibition though, right? It's not.
Yeah, it's not pool play yet. All right. So with that said, please like, subscribe, and share our content. Comment below on what you think. Let us know if you love us, if you hate us. Let us know if Tony Parker is a bitch. Let us know how much you love LeBron James. And in 3 years from now, Carmelo Anthony may be in the Springfield. Just throwing that out there because he's officially retired now. So 3 years from now, well, actually 4 years from now, we may see Melo there.
He'll get in from this Team USA play alone, probably.
Yeah, they may count this year because he didn't play this year. So technically it would be for 3 years versus 4. But you're right about that. Just the Team USA alone, he'll get in there. Because we all know the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame is the easiest Hall of Fame to get in. Just saying. All right. That is it. Everyone be safe, and we are out.